In this video, we're going to cover dimensional analysis. Dimensional analysis is the method we use to convert from one unit to another unit, or more than one unit to two or more other units. For our first example, we're going to be converting 8.43 centimeters into millimeters. Now, in the upper right corner of the screen, what we see is that I provided a table of some of the prefixes within the SI unit system. And what we can notice is that in this problem, what we're doing is we're converting from centimeters to millimeters, so we're converting from centi, one prefix, to milli, a different prefix. We always start the same way. We start by writing down the number that we're given, 8.43 centimeters. So we write that down, 8.43 centimeters. And now, we're going to want to convert this. Now, each of these numbers on these prefixes tell me how much of the base unit this prefix represents. In other words, a centi is 10 to the minus 2 of the base unit. The base unit here is the meter. So the first thing I want to do is convert back to my base unit. I want to convert to meters from centimeters. And what this now how I use this table, all right, centi according to this table means 10 to the minus 2. So to make this fraction work, the 10 to the minus 2 goes up here, and 1 goes down here. So in other words, 1 centimeter is 10 to the minus 2 meters, which is how we use and read this table. This allows now the centimeters to cancel out, leaving me with the unit of meters. I don't want meters, however, I want millimeters, so now I need to convert again. All right, I need to convert from millimeters into meters. Again, using my table, milli means 10 to the minus 3, so 1 millimeter is 10 to the minus 3 meters. So now you see the meters have canceled. I'm left with millimeters. And now I can do the math. 8.43 times 10 to the minus 2 divided by 1 times 1 divided by 10 to the minus 3. And I get 84.3 millimeters. I'll note these are conversion factors and their definitions. The conversion factors here are actually definitions from up here, and what that means, if you remember from the last video, is that what this means is that these numbers are perfect. They have infinite significance. Therefore, the only thing controlling my significant figures is the beginning number. This is all multiplication, so that beginning number, as you'll see, has 3 significant figures, so my answer better have 3 significant figures, and it does. And therefore, my answer in this conversion is 84.3 millimeters. Looking at another example now. 25 miles into kilometers. Now, this is a different case because now what we're doing is we're converting from imperial unit, mile, into an SI unit, kilometer. As we mentioned before, this is just the prefixes within the SI unit system. So it doesn't allow us to convert from imperial into SI units. We need some sort of conversion factor, and conveniently there is one. It's the definition of an inch, which allows us to do this. All right. We've defined in science, all right, that 1 inch is defined as 2.54 centimeters. And that then is going to allow me to make this conversion. So, to do this, we start off once again where we were before, 25 miles. So, we start there. 25, I'll just abbreviate miles here. Now, where can I convert that to? I can convert that into yards. I can look up the conversion. It turns out that 1 mile is 1760 yards. So now my miles have canceled. I'm left with unit of yards. Now I can convert the yards into feet. I know 1 yard is 3 feet. I can convert my feet into inches because 1 foot is 12 inches. Now I can use my definition to go from inches into centimeters. Because according to my definition, 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. So if I'm following along with my units, yards is canceled, feet have canceled, inches canceled. I'm left now with centimeters. I need to go to kilometers, so first I'll go back to the base unit like I did on the last example. So centimeters to meters. 1 centimeter is 10 to the minus 2 meters. And then I can go to kilometers from meters. Get rid of the meters, go to kilometers. Alright, 1 kilometer is 10 to the 3 meters. So, centimeters have canceled, meters have canceled. My unit now is kilometers, and now I can just do this math to get an answer. Noting all these are conversion factor definitions. They don't control significant figures. I start off with 2. I need to end with 2. So, 25 times 1760 divided by 1 times 3 divided by 1 times 12 divided by 1 times 2.54 divided by 1 times 1, or times 10 to the negative 2, excuse me, divided by 1 times 1 divided by 10 to the third. And doing all that out, I end up with a number, according to the calculator, of 40.2336 kilometers. However, I only need 2 significant figures, so that this gets reported then as 40 kilometers. And that then is my answer. Okay, so that's that problem. This would be reported then as 40 kilometers. Now, one thing to note, of course, from our previous slides of counting significant figures, this isn't quite correct yet because 40 written this way only has 1 significant figure. In fact, to have the correct number of significant figures, it actually needs to have a decimal point. You must write it in there so that now it actually has 2 significant figures. Next problem. 1.25 liters to cubic centimeters. Now, this is a different problem that you'll often run into in chemistry, and sometimes in physics and other natural sciences. All right. The standard unit of volume is the cubic meter, but a lot of liquids are measured instead in liters or some subset of liters like milliliters or microliters. But they're related. How are they related? By a simple definition. All right. The simple definition is that 1 milliliter is exactly the same as 1 cubic centimeter. So I'm really converting from liters into milliliters and then from milliliters to cubic centimeters. So let's start off, all right, with what we know, 1.25 liters. First I convert to milliliters, so from liters, cancel the liters out. I want to get to milliliters. Using my table, 1 milliliter is 10 to the minus 3 liters. And then I can use the definition I just wrote down, that 1 milliliter is 1 cubic centimeter. All right, so I can do that. Looking at my units for a minute first, liters have canceled, milliliters have canceled. I'm left with a unit of cubic centimeters, which is what I want. That's good. All right, so I do the math. 1.25 times 1 divided by 10 to the minus 3 times 1 divided by 1 gives me a number, 1250, and the unit is cubic centimeters. Needs 3 significant figures, has 3 significant figures. This is a good answer. Now, sometimes what you may be asked to do is take this number and convert this number now into something like cubic meters, the SI unit of volume. So how do I do that from here? Well, it's actually a straightforward procedure. Starting off with that number, 1250 cubic centimeters, I can, okay, how do I know? What do I know to cancel? I can go from cubic or centimeters into meters. I can do that fine. I know how to do that. 1 centimeter is 10 to the minus 2 meters, and that's fine. But when I say centimeters cubed, what I'm saying is I have a centimeter times a centimeter times a centimeter. This is only canceling one of those centimeters. So I need to do this 2 more times, or more simply, I can just cube this whole fraction. Alright, so when I do this, now I'm taking 1250 times 10 to the minus 2, and I'm cubing the 10 to the minus 2, divided by 1 cubed. And I do that, I get a number, 0.00125. Now, these 3 cubic centimeters have canceled with those 3 cubic centimeters, or those 3 centimeters, and I'm left with cubic meters. So my answer now is in cubic meters. I start off with 3 significant figures. I end up with 3 significant figures. This then is my answer in cubic meters now. So now I know how to convert from liters into cubic centimeters, and I know how to convert also all the way out to cubic meters, which is the SI unit of volume. Now sometimes we'll run into an even further complication, and that is 2 units. When we say in words per, so miles per hour, meters per second, the per literally means divide. So what I see here is that I have 55 miles per hour, or more specifically, I have 55 miles divided by 1 hour. And that's sort of, alright, that makes sense because we know that if we're going 55 miles per hour, in 1 hour we'll travel 55 miles. I want to convert this to meters per second, so I need to convert the miles into meters and the hours into seconds. So I'm going to do that the way I've done it before. Now I need to remember my imperial to SI conversion. Alright, that is to say, 1 inch has been defined as 2.54 centimeters. So, doing what we've done before. Alright, from earlier. 1 mile is 1760 yards. Now I'm going to merge 2 steps into 1 here. 1 yard is 36 inches, just so I can save some space. I did that. You can do that in 2 steps, it doesn't matter. Alright, 1 step or 2 step, you can either go from yards to feet and feet to inches, or yards straight to inches if you know that conversion. Now that I have inches, I can go from inches to centimeters. So 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. And now, because I need to go to meters, I can convert one final time for this from centimeters into meters. And I know 1 centimeter is 10 to the minus 2 meters. Following through all my units to see what's happening, the miles have canceled, the yards have canceled, the inches have canceled, and the centimeters have canceled. And right now, I have meters on top and hours on the bottom. What I want on the bottom, however, is seconds, so I still need more conversion. So what do? Well, right now hours is on the bottom. I need to cancel it out. So in order to cancel it, it has to go on top in the fraction here. So hours on top to cancel the hours on the bottom. I'm going to first go to minutes. I know 1 hour is 60 minutes. I don't want minutes on the bottom, however, I want seconds on the bottom, remember. So I can convert minutes to seconds, because 1 minute is 60 seconds. Following through my units now, Hours cancel with hours. Minutes cancel with minutes. And now my units, meters on top, seconds on the bottom, meters per second, which is exactly what I want. So now doing the math. 55 times 1760 divided by 1 times 36 divided by 1 times 2.54 divided by 1 times 1 times 10 to the minus 2 times 1 divided by 60 times 1 divided by 60 gives me an answer at the end of, according to my calculator, 24.5872 meters per second. Now, I need two significant figures. Currently, I have way more than that. I need to round this. I need to round this to that decimal place there. The 8 rounds this up, so I end up with reporting this as 25 meters per second. So when you're traveling in a car at 55 miles per hour, in SI units, you're traveling at 25 meters per second.